root lock as we move through our potent, enthusiastic Sagittarius full moon flow. I would love to invite you to bring your adventurous spirit and a philosopher's mind to understand this Sagittarius energy that we're activating with the illuminated sky. Are you ready? Let's begin by pressing down through the feet to lift the arms up while keeping the shoulder blades melting downwards rather than lifting the shoulders up towards the ears. So the shoulders come down as we lift up, and just take a moment. This is actually a posture in our yoga practice. And we're going to take a moment to practice lifting the arms, keeping the arms raised while they are apart, and see if you can feel any sensations in your fingertips as you activate your root lock, Mula Bandha. Bandha means lock. And just noticing as you stand here with your root lock, if you can fill your body with cosmic energy, like sparkling down your fingertips. So as you activate this celestial energy above you, tapping into the cosmic energy in the sky above, seeing how your fingers are like little antennas, like conduits for this expansive, dazzling, celestial vibe. And as you lock in your root, feel as if your cup of your body is being filled with cosmic energy. So this is a hatha practice just to get us started before we move into our flow. It's a meditation. And here we're just contemplating through our sensory experience of the arms. Perhaps your arms now are starting to get tingly, energized. Just allowing that cosmic energy to pour down from the heavens, the cosmos, through your fingertips as you lock in the energy to fill your being while you melt the shoulder blades down the back. Let's take in a few deep breaths here with a soft drishti, or even closing down the eyes, breathing deeply. You can even start to bring in that ujjayi breath. The low belly is the engine of the breath. We inhale prana, life force energy, expanding the low belly, and then contracting the navel comes in as we exhale, expelling through the exhale with a contraction. Inhaling to expand, exhaling, contract. Inhaling. You should feel your low belly getting bigger and then restricting. Now that our arms are full of cosmic vibrations, cosmic energy, bring your hands down without touching them, like little antennas. And I want you to place your hands somewhere on your body that needs healing. So perhaps the mind, the heart, or even the kidneys. Allowing that cosmic energy now to heal this part of your body, that almost electromagnetic frequency here that we've just cultivated. Perhaps you can feel your fingers still tingling. Of course, it's best to remove any jewelry. I'm wearing mine, but it's best to remove any metals from the body so our body can be like a conduit to the cosmic energy. Also to turn off your Wi-Fi, just as we try to perceive subtle energies. Beautiful. Taking a moment now just to breathe into the kidneys. You could even place your hands there or keep them where they're at, and just take a breath into the back of the rib cage and even see if you can identify where the kidneys would be. Some people, I used to think they were more in the low back, but really they're really at the base of the floating rib here. Just practicing some kidney breathing. Directing some prana, healing the kidneys. Releasing any fear. Beautiful. Releasing the hands down. Now we're going to press down and lift up again, beginning our Surya Namaskar A. Exhaling, forward folding down, bending the knees as needed, releasing the neck. Gently lift and lengthen. The crown reaches forward as the tailbone reaches back, planting the hands firmly on the earth, stepping back into our plank position, and then lowering down to the earth, Chaturanga Dandasana. And if you're ready for an upward facing dog, go for it. If you would like to come all the way down and practice a low cobra from the floor, please do. Protecting the low back, exhaling back into our downward facing dog, finding 5 deep Ujjayi breaths here while activating Mula Bandha, the root lock. Allowing the hamstrings to lengthen. Let gravity bring your heels down to the earth as you breathe. Perhaps bringing in that Ujjayi breath, like the sound of the ocean. It's the victorious breath. And rather than keeping the breath really constricted in the throat, see if you can let the low belly be the engine of the breath. Beautiful. After taking 5 breaths in, coming forward to a forward fold here and rolling up. Greeting the sky and coming with the hands to heart center. The feet are together in this balancing posture as we release the hands and the palms face forward like they're in your back pockets almost, allowing the shoulders to melt down while we engage the bandhas. It's interesting to breathe into the low belly while activating the bandha. See how that feels for you. If you would rather focus on pumping the low belly rather than the bandha, and it feels like you should choose one over the other, please do so, or just alternate, exploring here how we can activate the root with the Ujjayi. And again, we're going to move through our beautiful Surya Namaskar A, greeting the sun, exhaling, bowing forward with a sense of adventure. Inhaling, gently lift and lengthen. Exhaling, the hands come down as we step back. The shoulders stay over wrists while we come into our Chaturanga Dandasana. It's a full moon, so we're going to stay active here. If you are feeling a little bit like chilling out, then coming down all the way while you come into a low cobra until you feel ready. We're going to be doing a lot of heart opening and back bending, like the bow in Sagittarius's constellation. Sagittarius is the centaur who is an archer. Bringing the feet into the sky now, one at a time. Just a little dance here. Picking up and into a 3-legged downward facing dog. So just picking up the feet a little bit in your own way. And if you want to open the hip by bending one leg, please do if that feels good for you. Keeping the shoulders square to the earth. Let this be a little bit liberated here. So Sagittarius can be a little bit dogmatic sometimes with its actually representing a lot of representing religion and truth-seeking. So just see if you can give yourself some freedom here to move and break free from our traditional Surya Namaskar A while you take 5 deep breaths in your downward facing dog. If you want, you can come to stillness here. And then coming forward, our forward fold, and coming up to stand either with a flat back by engaging the navel and the core to protect the low back, or rolling up the spine, whichever feels good for you. Taking a moment to pause here to bask or repose in the after effect of this beautiful Surya Namaskar A. We're going to take one more round of our Surya Namaskar A without too much truth seeking. Although Sagittarius is the truth seeker, and that's beautiful. But just to allow ourselves some freedom and adventure to also explore. Sagittarius loves those broad horizons. So although actually the fixed fire sign is Leo, which Leo can be more dogmatic, Sagittarius is adventurous and also loves to sit up on that mountain of truth, seeking truth, which is wonderful, of course. And yet, we want to allow for the freedom that Sagittarius loves at the same time. Coming into our third Surya Namaskar A, inhaling, greeting Father Sky above. You might even bend the back by pressing the hips forward before you swan dive down to the earth. Exhaling, inhaling, gently lift and lengthen, and exhaling all the way down to the earth. Inhaling, upward facing dog, opening the heart. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Taking 5 deep breaths here, feeling free to pedal out the feet. And we'll be doing a lot of back bendings in this practice. As I said, Sagittarius is the centaur, the archer. He is shooting his arrow towards a higher truth, a higher star. And also very enthusiastic and adventurous. So when we back bend, it's very energizing. And it brings forward that enthusiasm. So after your 5th breath here, coming into a forward fold and then rolling up the spine, or you might like to come up with a flat back with your navel and your core activated to protect the low back here. And then coming with the hands up and down to the heart. Taking a moment to feel the effects of this beautiful Surya Namaskar flow. And moving into our Surya Namaskar B, coming into our chair pose before bending forward, exhaling down, inhaling and exhaling down, allowing for you to bend your back. I'm afraid my hair is hitting my microphone, so let me just fix this while you press back to a downward facing dog. I apologize if there was any audio interference there. Lifting the right leg. Where were we? Bringing the knee in and coming up into our Surya Namaskar A. The back heel drops into a angle here while the right knee stays over the left ankle and our hips face forward like 2 car lights, headlights facing forward as much as possible. That's an ongoing practice there to work the hips forward. So just noticing how you can elongate here and then coming down to the ground, placing both hands before stepping back into our plank. Exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling back. Lifting the left leg or the opposite leg, coming forward into our Dropping the back foot, coming into our Warrior A. Warrior 1. Again, allowing the hips to open here for a moment before we return to the earth. Exhaling, inhaling, protecting the low back. Exhaling, flipping over the toes, back to our downward facing dog, and taking 5 breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling. And coming forward and rising up, protecting the low back, of course. Rising up to greet the sky, the hands come overhead. You might even practice your back bend here and bringing the hands down. Just taking a moment to repose in the after effect, feeling the blood moving, the lymph draining, all the powerful effects that this beautiful movement has on your being and your body. And coming again into a beautiful chair pose, moving through our second round of Surya Namaskar B. Exhaling, forward fold. Gently lift and lengthen. Coming down to the earth. Inhaling, opening the heart. Exhaling, flipping over the toes, pressing back into our downward dog. And again, lifting the right leg first, because the ascending colon is on the right side, the descending colon is on the left. So oftentimes we'll move from right to left to support that directional flow of our digestive system. But you can choose your own adventure here. And coming down from our beautiful Warrior A again to the earth. Inhaling, opening, exhaling, back. Bringing the left knee in and bringing the foot to the floor. Lifting up into this powerful Warrior 1. Opening through the hips and exhaling down in your own time. Inhaling, joyfully opening the heart. Exhaling back. Taking 5 beautiful, luxurious breaths here while you put on your philosopher's cap and just contemplate the breath. This connection to life, what sustains us, prana, and how the Ujjayi breath even changes the nature of the prana. See if you can perceive the breath with subtle, sublime awareness. And coming forward, rolling up. You can press the hips forward while making sure to drop the coccyx down, pointing the tailbone down to the earth, and then opening the chest. I am not the most bendy person, but I just found by pressing my hips forward first and protecting my low back and then opening through the heart, I can really activate, awaken, and open through not only my sacral chakra, the second chakra, Swadhisthana, but all of the heart. Coming down, feeling the effects of this powerful movement. Noticing how by squeezing, compressing the glands, it helps drain our lymphatic system. the glands under the arms and in the jade gates or the groin area, the throat. What powerful medicine. Now let's move through again, coming into our chair pose for our final round of Surya Namaskar B. Gently lifting and lengthening, placing the hands on the floor, stepping back into your plank posture. The elbows hug in. Inhaling, lifting. The chin can come up last if that feels good for you, or keeping it parallel to the floor before pressing back into your downward dog, bending the knees as much as you need to. Lifting up or just coming through to your Surya Namaskar or your Warrior A. Opening the heart and descending down, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling, and the left side. Dropping the back foot. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling, down. Opening the heart, inhaling, and then exhaling back for 5 breaths. Beautiful. Contemplating the breath. What is this? With a fascination, feeling the sensations of the breath, even with reverence, and maybe even observing the breath with euphoric expectation. It might even be able to deliver you to bliss. Coming forward and rising up. Inhaling, greeting the day, exhaling. Hands come to heart center and then release. We'll have one more round of Surya Namaskar B and then we're going to get adventurous. Letting the shoulder blades melt down the back like a waterfall is gently cascading, melting any tension down the arms. Taking a few breaths here, quieting the mind by focusing the gaze, softening the drishti, or even closing down the eyes, practicing pratyahara, this inward drawing of the senses on this methodological path to meditation. So often phase 1 is pratyahara. We're drawing the senses inward by softening the gaze or closing down the eyes and finding stillness. And then finding a point of focus. So concentration is the next step on the path to meditation. And let your focus be on your breath. As we inhale, bringing the arms up, greeting the sun salutations. It's to revere Surya Deva, this deity in the sky, this evolved being. Gently lift and lengthen. Exhale, stepping back. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Hiranya Garbhaya, the sun, Surya Deva. Lifting the right leg or just bringing it forward into our final round of Warrior A's, Warrior 1. Exhaling down. Inhaling, opening the heart, finding enthusiasm for life. Exhaling back, lifting and bringing the foot forward, placing it down. I scoop up the energy as I come up. Opening. And Again, 5 deep, long, luxurious, nurturing breaths. You can also breathe up green earth energy through the yin channels, the inner channels of the thighs. Let it accumulate at your root and then cascade down over your spine, over the neck, if that is something that resonates with you. Inhaling vital earth energy up the inner thighs, letting it collect at the perineum, the root chakra, and then cascade down over the spine, releasing tension before coming forward. Beautiful. Rolling up. Did we miss our chair pose on that last one? You'll have to forgive me. Inhaling, the hands come overhead and back to our heart center. Releasing. We've been doing quite a bit of movement now through Surya Namaskar A and B. Completing those 2 more traditional sequences. Just releasing tension. You could even give yourself a little shake here. That feels good. Beautiful. We're going to be moving now through a creative variation of our traditional practice. So although Sagittarius loves to uphold the tradition of yoga, especially as it's rooted in Vedic culture and this beautiful, the many religions that arise from our Vedic traditions, we're going to allow for that freedom that Sagittarius loves. So when you're ready, opening the eyes gently, softening the gaze, bringing the arms up as you dive forward to greet the earth. And just pausing here for a moment, you can even bring the feet apart, hips width apart, as we spend some time in this forward fold, releasing, surrendering, letting go. If you want to cross your arms and bend your knees, you're more than welcome, especially if you feel tension in the upper back. This can really help. Or you can work on stretching the hamstrings, activating and engaging through the hamstrings by straightening the legs. And if you are ready to move into another asana, just grabbing your toes, your big toes with your middle finger and your index finger and your thumb. And you could even pop the elbows outwards as you pull yourself in a little bit, gently, with awareness and respect for your body, without forcing. Taking a few luxurious breaths in this forward fold. It's a resting pose. We've been doing quite a bit of movement, so coming into a moment of pause. And then releasing the hands when you're ready. And gently lifting and lengthening before placing the hands down and stepping back into our plank posture. We're going to hold our plank pose, activating our core, our fire, Manipura chakra, at the navel, the solar plexus. You could visualize a sun at your navel to really start to fire it up, activate through. If you want to separate the feet, that's fine, keeping them together. We've been doing a lot with the arms, I know, but just allowing the heat to start to generate. You might even shake a little bit. And then coming onto the side, I really love to practice isolating my sternum from my low body by keeping my shoulders over my wrists, and then seeing if I can just rotate my feet to the side as if I'm coming to a side plank before doing so. So if that resonates with you, and then moving into, I'm going for the left side, but opening up into a little side plank for a moment. If you are advanced, you can open the leg or do something fancy, but a simple side plank can do wonders. Coming through the center again, and then let's explore our side plank on the other side. And coming back, and then coming down all the way to the earth. Let's work with our bow pose. So actually, Vajrasana, upward facing bow, is Sagittarius's pose, believe it or not. It's a pose that gives us this bow-like shape. As I said, it's Sagittarius is the centaur, Chiron, the archer. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I have to adjust my mic. I hope it's okay for you all. So the archer, centaur, who has this bow, his philosophical bow, he's aiming high and aiming true with such enthusiasm. So we're going to be cultivating that, coming to the floor, placing the forehead on the earth, bringing the hands back beside us, taking a few deep breaths, and we're going to lift up into a locust pose here. You can bring the feet together if that feels right for you, and then lifting up, pressing the pubic bone into the floor to really allow for this arch to happen. As you lift up, not cranking the neck, just finding a nice position for the head. The crown is long, the toes reach back. As we stay lifted, rolling the shoulders back and breathing deeply here for a few breaths. Pressing the navel and the pubic bone even more into the floor as leverage. And then when you're ready, coming down to the earth and swaying the hips side to side, shaking out the low back. Beautiful. We're going to come into a Superman, so flying high here with Sagittarius energy, with the hands coming in front of us this time as we again lift up. So lifting off. Definitely Sagittarius actually rules over international travel. So let's just fly on broad horizons here, expansive energy. As we press down to lift up, strengthening the back. You're doing so great. And one more breath here. And see if you can just lift up a little more before you come down. Exquisite. Well done. And let's see, do you have one more in you? If you want to fly the arms back, that's awesome. If you can muster up another Superman. That's obviously not the official name of this pose. But we'll allow for some playfulness, playful energy here. It's really good medicine for ambitious Sagittarius. Truth-seeking Sagittarius. And again, coming up when you're ready, taking 3 to 5 breaths here. Gorgeous. If you'd like, you can bring the feet up and just like windshield wiper the feet side to side to release the low back. Can you feel the little bit of activation and enthusiasm firing up? All right, let's try our upward facing bow pose, one side at a time before we go into the full expression of this dynamic experience together. Bending and clasping the inside or even the outside, I let you choose, of one foot. And then see if you can just bring the right hand forward as you fly a little bit. and come down. It's a little test. We're just testing it out. And the next foot here, see if you can bring it up. Gorgeous. And down. And now let's come into this full expression of this posture. I have to admit, it's not one of my favorites. But it's so good. It's so good for you. And you're gonna feel amazing after you experience this Sagittarius pose. And we can't avoid it, of course, because it's the Sagittarius full moon. So bringing your thighs down to the earth and bending the knees, the feet in towards the glutes, reaching around and clasping the tops of the feet. You could even grab your heels and flex your feet if that feels better for you. For me, even this is activating. I'm already getting a nice stretch in my quads. If you're super flexy, you're like, I got this, no problem. So we not only require the flexibility to be in this posture, but the strength. And that's what we are seeking, is that middle path of active flexibility rather than passive flexibility and overstretching. So if you're an extremely flexible person, you're going to want to work on the strength component of this. And whenever you're ready, slowly coming in, pressing the pelvic floor, the pelvis into the earth, while you lift up and just getting a taste. And you can rock forward and back also in this pose to get the real adventure and enthusiasm that it has to offer. Breathing deeply, feeling the fire, pressing the feet into the hands, allowing the shoulders to stretch. There's a dynamic oppositional force here. And when you're ready, coming down. Beautiful, releasing the hips. We got another couple rounds here. I know I said we were going to be in a creative flow, and we're going to get there too. We're just on our way. We're on our journey here. We're on our adventure, and we'll get back into the flow momentarily. And again, bending the knees in, taking your time. I'm taking my time. But if you want to just go for it, just go for it. And then lifting up, pressing the pelvic bowl down, the hips into the earth, creating that leverage. And then there's a dynamic oppositional force where you're pressing the feet into the hands, allowing the heart to open. You can even rock back and forth for the full experience, or someone can pick you up from your ankles. And when you're done, releasing one more round, Vajrasana, upward facing bow pose. When you're ready, bending in the knees, clasping the feet, and lifting up. If you can bring the knees together, that would be awesome. Do your best. And when you're ready, coming down to the earth, exquisite. Now you definitely deserve a child's pose. Pressing back into your child's pose, a little counter pose here. Or if the back got overworked, you might consider closing the knees and allowing the shoulders to cascade over your torso, to fall over the thighs. I love this version of child's pose to release tension in the back. While the third eye presses against the earth to stabilize you. and you release tension. Beautiful. Before we move back into our creative vinyasa flow, let's explore a little camel pose in honor of Sagittarius. So coming on to the knees, sitting up and up on the knees, tucking the toes under, tucking the pelvic bowl forward, dropping the tailbone down and lifting into your Mula Bandha. This is when your root lock's going to become essential to also empower you, but to protect your low back here. And see if you can, rather than just coming back with the upper body here, press the adductors, the ball and socket joint, the pubic bone forward. So the hips come forward while the low back is getting longer because I'm actually actively tucking my tailbone here, while also trying to release the glutes. So the movement isn't coming from pinching in the glutes per se, although they could support you if you feel that's necessary. But if possible, allowing for the anatomical correction in the spine with the skeleton becoming like a structure, and then releasing the tissue in the glutes here rather than contracting the muscle. Just seeing how far forward you can press this. Even my shoulders never even moved because I was able to open through the pelvic bowl. Just exploring. And then lifting up and out, getting taller. Like I haven't even began arching my back yet. I've let a lot of it happen by pressing my hips forward. And then seeing if you could lift up and out and round over. Oh, touched my mic. Round over, allowing then the chest to come back rather than just dumping back and like compressing the lower lumbar spine. Getting spacious through the vertebra, getting taller, and then opening through while keeping the head lifted if that feels good. I'm not going to dump my head back, but perhaps that feels right for you. And then I can press my hands into my low back for some extra support, and then coming out of the posture. When you're ready, if you are a Camel Pro and you are super bendy, please just go for this. This is a great instruction for anyone who is tight and wants to create mobility really intelligently in the body. So again, let's practice our camel pose, my favorite. Wink, wink. Tucking the pelvis and opening through the front body, bringing the hips forward first and allowing that to happen. It's like amazing to me when I discovered this. Opening, also this will activate your Swadhisthana chakra, your sacral chakra, the water element at the sexual center of the genitals, also the center of creativity and imagination. If you have a lot of energy pent up there, you could even get like a wave of sublimated energy where you get dizzy and you're like, whoa. So if that happens to you, put your hands on the ground, earth yourself, come into a beautiful child's pose as you press and open here with the protection of the low back, really taking your time to explore like a great Sagittarius adventure. And then lifting up and out of the low back, opening through the chest, opening, shining the heart up, and then coming into this posture. If you want to grab your ankles, come into the full expression, and that's totally fine. And then finishing up here, coming back to the ground and into a beautiful child's pose. Perhaps this time you would like to explore opening the hips and melting the heart down to the earth, stretching through the shoulders with the forehead rooted, grounding mental stability on the ground. as you breathe. Noticing the after effect of for what can be, for many, a very intense posture. Gorgeous. And pressing yourself up, taking a moment to sit in Vajrasana, lightning pose, bringing your hands into your preferred position, taking a moment just to meditate like that great yogi, truth-seeking yogi on the mountain. If this is uncomfortable for you, finding a comfortable position and bringing your awareness to both your third eye and your heart simultaneously. Opening through Ajna chakra, the third eye, the mental command center, and at the same time, bringing your awareness to Anahata chakra. Unstruck sound is the meaning of Anahata, or so I heard. And it is the center of unconditional loving kindness and compassion without object or attachment. When we can connect our third eye and our heart, we find such a powerful compassion through not only understanding and forgiveness, as well as acceptance, but also that wisdom realizing emptiness, that space without judgment, beyond judgment. We're observing, witnessing thoughts passing by like clouds in the sky from that vast, empty space, pure presence. Bringing in the breath, and then pressing back into our downward facing dog, bringing in this beautiful contemplation on compassion, this philosophy of wisdom realizing emptiness, this Tibetan philosophy. Taking a few deep breaths here. And then lifting the right foot, three-legged dog, bending the hip over. You can even flip into a wild thing or come into a full back bend here. I like to keep one foot bent and then rolling back over. Coming into the second side, lifting the left foot, rolling all the way over into your wild thing if that resonates with you, or just staying with the left foot lifted and bent. And then coming back when you're ready. We're going to bring the right knee in and come into a lunge, a crescent lunge. So my left heel is lifted here with my right knee over my right ankle. And then my left heel is actively pressing back, opening into Warrior Two. Active dynamism, opening through the pelvic bowl, the groin is opening, and my right knee is not bowing in. I'm like Sagittarius with his bow, creating that tension here by pressing my right knee towards the window in my case, but to the right, to create this beautiful open plane. And looking out over the fingertips, the Drishtian gaze is focused and calm. And then humble or reversed warrior. Reverse your warrior. And then coming from your reversed warrior into your side angle. Beautiful. Taking the fingers and drawing them along this vast, expansive horizon and opening through the side body. Here. Getting long. as we stabilize through the feet. And then coming back to our warrior and coming into a beautiful side angle. Triangle pose. Activating the core here, even the secondary chakras. And reversing. And then let's just come down to the floor in a lunge for just a moment before dropping the knee down and coming into half Hanumanasana or full Hanuman. Bringing the foot back, or if I like to really move my foot back and forward here, finding some freedom to express yourself. Oops. Here before coming back into our lunge and stepping back, coming down, opening the heart, back into our downward facing dog, and then let's just come right in to our second side here with our crescent lunge. Opening, activating here, this beautiful lunge. So great for the hip, the front hip. And then opening into our warrior two on the side plane. Opening the hips like I'm between two plates of glass. Taking the gaze out over the fingertips. And then reversing your warrior for a moment. Breathing. And coming back into a beautiful side angle, tracing the fingertips along this broad, beautiful horizon to open up through the psoas and the side body. Getting long through the side waist. And then coming back into our beautiful triangle. For a moment, reversing, and then coming back, cartwheeling the arms all the way to the floor into a lizard lunge. Taking a few breaths here, dropping the knee down and allowing for this half Hanuman, or if you'd like to come into a full Hanuman, then I'm jealous. Because I will probably never be able to do that, but I've accepted it. I've definitely come to a place of acceptance. But go on with your bad self if you have the full splits. Enjoy. And then coming forward, pressing back, plank, and to the floor. Lifting up and back into our downward dog. We're just going to flow through one more round. I know it's a lot. Step forward. Come up. You're doing amazing. And you have the full moon supporting you and this dynamic Sagittarius fire. So we're going to go for it. Great aspiration. Coming into our chair. Forward folding. Gently lift and lengthen. Down to the earth through our plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Opening the heart, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, lifting the right knee and coming in and back. And in and back. And in and back. And through. And rising up. Coming into flying. So some international travel here in our warrior three. You can bring the arms forward And then open to my favorite. I love this posture. Focusing the eyes. And stepping back. Warrior two. Reverse. Again, side angle. Opening. And reverse again. And we're gonna actually pivot. So we're gonna reverse our warrior. And then we're gonna pivot onto the ball of the foot. Exploring here. Falling is fabulous. Wobbling is wonderful. Just gonna see if my microphone's in the best spot. And then coming around, twisting through the side here. We're gonna become a twisted lunge. Gorgeous. And then we're gonna open and reverse. And through warrior two, pivoting. So here's the pivotal moment, pivoting on the back demi point and crossing over into a twisted lunge. And again. Woo, one more time. It's fun once you get the hang of it. Awesome. And again, warrior two. Reverse and back to the earth. Stepping back all the way to the floor. Lifting up. Coming back. And the next side. Lifting the left foot 3 times. Coming in. And again. And on the third, stepping, coming into, was it our warrior two? No, it was our high lunge, I'm sorry. High lunge, spending a moment in your beautiful crescent lunge, opening and awaking. And then I think we, flew. Let's fly. Beautiful. Going for a little adventure. And then opening, half crescent. So fun. Wobbling is wonderful. Falling is fabulous. Woo, I'm shaking. Shaking is a great sign. And stepping back into warrior two. It means the muscle is going to tear and grow so we can get stronger. And reversing. And coming into this beautiful side angle. Opening through the side waist and the psoas. Gorgeous. And reversing. And I think we just came into our fun pivot. So we're moving through, pivoting on the back foot, opening to warrior two, reversing. And then pivoting, windmilling the arms, testing our balance and our strength. Twisting here and opening. You're doing amazing. I'm so proud of you. And twisting. Gorgeous. You're probably going to want to try this again because it's so fun. And then we're going to come down. Step back. Chaturanga. Open, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, fantastic. Taking a few breaths here. Feeling energized. Honoring the hard work you're doing. And then stepping forward. And coming up. Gorgeous. We have one more standing posture before we come down to the ground. And of course, it's Nataraj, Shiva. Nataraj, you can see here Shiva in his cosmic dance. Shiva is the Lord of Dance. And here he is in his cosmic dance that he performs at the end of the great destructive cycle, where then we are reabsorbed back from whence we came, back into pure consciousness, Shiva consciousness. So allowing that to be our reflection for philosophical, religious, Sagittarius, high-minded Sagittarius, as we move into this beautiful standing posture, feeling our feet firmly rooted on the ground. You can begin on either side and lifting, bending the knee, clasping the foot, pausing here, just noticing already what's being activated. And then we're going to be opening up, straightening the arm out in front of us. If you'd like to make a beautiful Hamsasya mudra or Jnana mudra. And bow, like our bow pose, pressing the foot into the hand as we work to keep our hips squared forward rather than opening in Chakrasana. And then just enjoying this beautiful moment as a dancer. Enjoying your Nataraj. And when you're ready, coming back, standing and being grateful for your 2 feet. And then pressing firmly into the earth, rooting down to lift up, feeling so stable and rooted and grounded as you clasp the foot in your hand, your pada, in your hasta. And then slowly coming into this posture, perhaps you'd like to make a beautiful mudra and focusing the gaze to create the stability, a steady mind. Steadying the breath, allowing for this pose to happen just like it wants to. And then when you're ready, releasing. Bringing your 2 feet to the earth, taking a deep breath. Beautiful. And we're going to make one final beautiful bow down to the earth. Forward folding, releasing, gently lifting and lengthening, placing the hands down, and then coming to our final upward facing dog. Back to downward dog, and then we're going to see if you can just fly through your feet and come to seated. Beautiful. All right, let's practice one beautiful forward fold. So you can practice bow or Dandasana stick. So see if you can press the hands down. If you have really great core strength and or long arms, you might be able to lift yourself up. But this is fine just to press the palms into the earth. The fingertips are facing forward in this beautiful stick pose. I think Dandasana means stick. And then we're going to come forward active in this posture for a moment. So staying lifted, the navel is even engaged, even that Mula Bandha lock, and clasping the toes or wherever you can reach while staying long here and lifted, active. You could explore activating your quads to release the hamstrings a little bit. Taking a breath here, and then you can release concaving or rounding the back. And releasing, just letting for this curve to heal you. We're healing the body with the body. Releasing the neck. We've done a lot of back bending, so it's wonderful to take a moment in this counter pose. And then when you're ready, rolling up, let's just do a few more Janu knee poses. Janu Shirshasana. Bended knee poses. Bringing the foot in and releasing, surrendering, draping your torso over your thigh. You can release your attachment to alignment and just surrender. Taking a few breaths here. And when you're ready, coming up. And the second side. Draping the body over the thigh. And coming up, let's roll down to the earth, surrendering and taking a moment just to rock our pelvic bowl up and down, round and round, around the clock, massaging the low back into the floor, the sacrum, going around clockwise and then counterclockwise, just massaging the circumference of the sacrum, the three fused vertebra at the low back, the sacred bone. Back and forth, and then diagonal, left and right, or that's horizontal, vertical, horizontal, a little diagonal even. And then releasing down, you can practice a little Baddha Konasana here, bringing the feet together and the knees apart, if that feels right for you. Surrendering here in these last moments of our beautiful practice together on this full moon in Sagittarius. Surrender, opening through the hips, and if you'd like to stay in Baddha Konasana, you're more than welcome. Or feel free to release into your final resting posture, Shavasana, the pose of Shiva. Not only Lord of the cosmic dance, but the great Guru, Shiva, consciousness itself. Taking a moment to rest in that vast space of wisdom, realizing emptiness, nothingness, non-existence, pure consciousness. The space before thought enters the mind. Allowing your practice to be reabsorbed back into the source, reabsorbed back into your being. As you lie here in Shavasana, the corpse pose, trusting in the cycle of life, Om, creation, preservation, reabsorption. Feeling the harmonious distribution of all the energy that you cultivated in your practice today throughout your entire being. A sensation of floating, a dissolving of the body outline, oneness, peace. And when you're ready, taking a breath or staying here, reaching your arms overhead to stretch, or basking in your resting posture, coming out, into a fetal position as you press yourself up to sitting in your asana, your seat. Re-emerging, rebirthing from this Shavasana to close our practice, bringing the hands together at the heart, taking a deep breath in to seal your practice, honoring yourself for showing up, bringing the hands to the third eye, taking a moment of pause and reverence for this great philosophy of yoga, Sankhya philosophy. And coming down, bringing the forehead to the earth to seal in your practice and connect with Bhumi Devi, Mother, Divine Mother in the form of the earth. You could even give yourself a blessing before completing this beautiful practice. I'm so proud of you. Have a beautiful day.